Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Screeny. History's best-loved series is still going strong, and viewers love the cast just as much as they love watching the deals being made. Any reality show has to have solid characters in it to make the series a success, and with Rick and Co., history struck gold. From the old man's crotchety ways to Rick's no-nonsense attitude and Chumlee's stupidity, there's plenty to keep the viewers entertained. While these guys may seem likable on screen, they're not squeaky clean. Join us as we take a look at the dark secrets from the cast of Pawn Stars. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Chumlee's legal issues. Chumlee is one of the most important supporting cast members on the show. Although he doesn't always get as much screen time as Rick and Corey, he's a firm fan favorite, mainly because of the stupid decisions he makes. As it turns out, it might not be an act. Chum has got into some serious trouble with the law in 2016, when his home was raided by cops investigating sexual assault allegations. As they turned the place out, they discovered all manner of incriminating things, including methamphetamine, marijuana, and an unlicensed gun. Las Vegas police charged Chum with one misdemeanor and a felony, but he managed to negotiate it down to an attempted possession of a controlled substance. Luckily for the TV star, he avoided being thrown in the slammer and was instead placed on probation and ordered to attend mandatory counseling to tackle his issues. History purposely didn't mention the situation on the airwaves, and everything continued as normal. Rick's wedding woes. Rick definitely likes getting married, having tied the knot 3 times now. His first union to Kim lasted only 3 years in the early 80s, while his second marriage to Tracy rumbled on for 15 years. By 2013, the big man had put a ring on the finger of Deanna Burdett, but the brunette beauty came with a whole load of baggage. Her ex-husband, Richard Burdett, was convinced of forceful sexual abuse and dealing in materials harmful to a minor. Although he pled guilty to the charges back in 2013, he never went to jail. Understandably, Rick is pretty peeved about that and doesn't get why he wasn't locked up, blaming it on the bureaucracy. Having spoken publicly about it in the past, Rick has said that he would like nothing more than to be able to just move on from the situation safe in the knowledge that his wife's dirtbag ex-husband isn't prowling the streets. You can hardly blame him, can you? Store secrets. You'd think that the gang work in the shop 24/7. That's what they want you to believe, that you're getting a sneak peek into the family business and the day-to-day of running the store. However, in reality, the guys are only behind the counter on special occasions or filming days. Sure, in the years prior to the reality series, that's exactly what it was like, but as soon as the show started taking off, it was no longer viable for Rick, Chum, Corey, and the old man to be in the shop all the time. For a start, fans constantly wanted pictures and autographs, and it generally got in the way of them making money. After all, it might be a show that isn't always 100% real, but the premise is entirely genuine. This is a profitable business that relies on the store to bring in the bucks. So if you're in Vegas and think about swinging by to see some of history's biggest stars, think again. We'd bet you a gold coin that they won't be there. Corey's GASTRIC band. Viewers that have been with the show since its humble beginnings will recall that Corey used to be a very big guy. Weighing about 365 pounds, Corey then looks a hell of a lot different from Corey now. But it wasn't just working hard at the gym and dieting. In 2010, Harrison had a gastric band surgery to help him lose weight. And it worked. Over the next few years, he got his weight down considerably, dropping down to about 210 pounds. That's an impressive feat for anyone, and will stand the big hoss in good stead for the rest of his life. But the details behind his transformation weren't ever discussed. Is it because he was embarrassed? Or did he want people to think he did it off his own bat? Who knows? But speak up, Corey. There's no shame here. CALLAHAN lawsuit. It's not just Chumlee that's had a little bit of trouble with the boys in blue either. Back in 2011, Rick and the old man were served a notice that Daniel Callahan was suing them for $20,000. Callahan alleged that both of the men physically assaulted him for no reason when he went into the store to pawn a rifle. When an altercation broke out, Rick and his dad supposedly put him in a chokehold, dragged him through the store, and threw him out onto the sidewalk. Not only was his walking cane damaged, he said, but the rifle he had hoped to sell was totaled too. Corey witnessed the situation and later stated that his dad and grandfather reacted appropriately as Callahan became angry and started waving the rifle around. Worried they would get shot by the disgruntled customer, they swiftly escorted him away from the premises. It's a good job they were in the shop that day, right? We can't imagine Chumlee acting so swiftly. Olivia's Black Ban. Back when the show first started, tattooed beauty Olivia Black appeared on the show quite regularly as she works the night shift. Always smiling, Black brought some much-needed finesse to the show, but it didn't last for long. History soon discovered that she once done some nude modeling for popular website Suicide Girls. Although there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, the rather stuffy channel decided that they could no longer have her appear on the show, and subsequently, we never saw her again. Black continued to work the night shift and wasn't fired by the store totally, just banned from ever showing her face on screen again. Why? Who knows? It's not really a big deal, but if we had to take a guess, we'd say that it has something to do with the overall family vibe of the series. What a shame though. We miss you, Olivia! Corey's drunken debacle. Hey, we like a drink or two as much as the next guy, but Corey took this one a little too far. Back in 2016, Radar Online reported that Corey got so drunk at an event that he peed on a bar stool. According to the gossip site, the younger Harrison was taking part in a motorcycle ride sponsored by Hot Bike magazine when they all stopped at a bar in Jefferson City for some beverages. As the hours passed, Corey got a little worse for wear. Onlookers reported him as being sloppy, obnoxious, and said it was a recipe for disaster. When he needed to visit the little boy's room, he didn't quite make it and decided to do his business right then and there near the bar. Amazingly, the bar owners let this one slide and didn't kick him out. Later on, Corey got a little heated and threw a bar stool across the room, which led to his expulsion. What do you have against bar stools, Corey? Cheated agent. In this business we call a show, most things take a lot of time to be fully realized. Ideas are sometimes born into existence years before they actually become a reality. That's exactly what happened in this case. Rick supposedly thought of the idea for Pawn Stars many moons prior, but despite pitching it to production companies, no one took the bait. When things started to get rolling, the cast did the right thing and hired an agent to steer them through the contract process. Wayne Jeffries got the entire deal with History together, and the cast agreed to the terms that would give Jeffries a cut of their money and ongoing merch royalties. However, when everything turned up gold, they ousted Wayne without giving him what he was promised. Like most media-savvy agents, Jeffries retaliated with a lawsuit that eventually settled for an undisclosed amount. You know what they say, don't forget the people that helped you on your way to the top. It'll come back to bite you. The old man's will. Earlier this year, the Harrison family was dealt a devastating blow when patriarch Richard Old Man Harrison passed away from Parkinson's disease, age 77. It soon emerged that he had purposely redone his will the previous year to exclude his son, Christopher. Rick was named the executor of the will and said that the entire family had discussed the decision in private. Corey chimed in to say that he knew nothing of the details in his grandfather's will and had always tried to stay out of that kind of stuff. According to Big Haas, he hadn't seen his uncle in over 20 years. The gossip site The Blast managed to get hold of a copy of the last will and testament, which they published not long after the old man's death. It reads, "I would like to express my love and affection for Christopher Keith Harrison. However, for the purposes of this will, I have intentionally, and with full knowledge, failed to provide for him and his issues." The specified beneficiaries were Richard's widow Joanne and his son Joseph. No one really knows why Christopher was cut out. Buying blunders. There's definitely something to be said for anonymity in the pawn trade. Since the show became so popular, Rick and the guys find it much more difficult to go to garage sales, yard sales, or swap meets because sellers are worried they'll get taken for a ride. Given that the guys know a lot about rare items, they're likely to have a solid idea of what it's worth, while some sellers could sell it for nothing. Rick recalls one time where he tried to inquire about a painting at a yard sale and got all but shooed away by the woman. She recognized who I was and took it away, saying it's not for sale. While Harrison laughed about it then, it could potentially have quite the impact on future business, and also speaks volumes about how the wider public don't trust the Pawn Stars as far as they can throw them. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other 2 videos on your screen.